Hello, my name is Mike Guillory. I've just recently completed an online full stack web development bootcamp at Savvy Coders. I do have previous web development experience, having built a couple of websites for a bed and breakfast and a music CD. Those sites, built with PHP, utilized APIs for content management through AJAX calls to a MySQL database. Also, a few years ago, I completed a 2-year course in computer programming. I signed up for the Savvy Coders Bootcamp to refresh my old skills and learn some new ones to get back into the game. Initially, I considered Savvy's data analyst course, but as I began to do some studying on my own in anticipation of the start of that course, I began to get the web development itch again, and I realized that that was what I really needed to be doing. As my capstone project for Savvy, I built a single-page application that helps people to keep track of their bills and enables them to see the big picture of their week-to-week and month-to-month financial situation. This app is for anyone who pays bills, but will be especially useful for the 60% of Americans who are living paycheck to paycheck. The good thing about my app is that it's not a budget. Most people balk at the suggestion of making a budget. My app is just a fast and simple way for people to see what's going on with their bills versus their income. And so it's much more likely to be used. The app is built with standard web technologies, HTML, CSS, MongoDB, and JavaScript on both the front and back ends. I started with the wireframes, as you might expect, but as you can see by this website, there's not much to look at. The wireframes are not much to look at, but the thing that I did make use of, this is an example of a spreadsheet that I used myself to track my own bills for the last several months. I put the bill information in manually, but then the totals are done automatically. First, I wanted to automate more of the process, so that's how I came up with the idea for my app. We start on the home page. There's a login for multiple users. I have a contact page connected through FormSpree. So if anyone wants to get in touch with me, it will submit an email to me. As you can see, that's working. There's an about page, just briefly explaining the purpose of the app. And then we move on to the data page where things begin to happen. This is where I have APIs for all of these to edit the bills, or I should say add, update, and delete the bills, add, update, and delete paydays, payment sources, and income sources. The amounts in the income sources are just an expected average, minimum average, something that would be safe to plan the bills with. Then it would come up to the bills themselves, edit that information, add that information in. You notice that the due dates on the bills are simply the date of the month that they're due, because that's when bills are due. Whereas opposed to the in the paydays, it's a full year month date. I'm going to talk about that in a second. When you enter the paydays, this income source is tied to the table down below, so it'll automatically input the pay from that particular job or income source, and then you can simply select when you expect to get that and add it. But once you get a few of these in here, say this day job pays every 2 weeks, so I select the last one. It automatically puts those in there. Like this is the last. Wait a minute, it's not doing the right one. Let's try that again. Day job on the 6th. There we go, just being stubborn. So the last one was on the 6th. I'll just go 2 weeks further, add that in, and then I'll have the next payday. And you can go pretty quickly that way. So as I mentioned, enable these dates. In order to compare when the bill is due with these paydays, I had to take the year and the month from the first payday that it's going to loop through, add all of these dates to that to get the due dates for that month for these particular bills, and then that string has to be converted into an epoch date. Same thing for this string, have to be converted into an epoch date as well, and this string, because I'm going to take each bill and compare it initially to which ones fall between this date and that date, and then that'll get put into the schedule. And as we move on down, it'll do the next one, and then the next one will constantly have 2 dates and converted to epoch dates to compare these two to put them into the schedule. You go back into the code, you'll see it starts with these unique pay dates, because you may have 2 checks on a single day. I don't want to loop through twice, each one of those pays. It's just going to loop through once for that particular payday. So for each payday, each unique payday, it's going to loop through the bills right here. And any bills that fall between that payday and the next will be pushed onto a this pay period array. To go through the next bill, until it finds all the bills that go onto that pay period. And once that array is populated, then it'll push that array onto the schedule. Then it'll start again with the next payday and start again with those bills, pushing those that fall into that payday, that pay period, onto this pay period array, and then that gets pushed to the schedule until the schedule is full with all of the pay dates and all of the bills. Then with that schedule, go to the schedule view, it gets looped through for each pay period in the schedule. We're going to build a table with all the information, the bills, where the bill is paid from, the name of the bill, the amount. All that table is populated with all the bills that get paid in that period, and then the totals are put in there underneath each table, and then it starts again with the next pay period to build the next table until we have what looks like this. Here's the schedule. Now we have a payday on June 2nd, so June 1st is only paying the bills due on the 1st. But you see later on where, like this June 16th is going to pay the 17th through the 21st, because we have another payday on the 22nd. So it picks up again there with the bill due on the 23rd. You can see the totals over here, the total income for that week, the total bills for that week, how much is left. If we look at June 8th, $725, we'll go back to the data and look at that payday, June 8th, and we have 2 paychecks, one for $500 and one for $225. So you can see that it is combining the two into one pay period with the total to use to calculate with. And that's how that works. In addition to the coding aspects of the curriculum, Savvy Coders is accredited by the International Consortium for Agile. And as part of the Savvy program, I received certification in Agile methodology by participating in sprint planning, daily stand-ups, sprint reviews, and retrospectives. And with that, I thank you for your attention.